All right, I think we're ready to go. Hello everyone. My name is Marlena Lester. I'm the Director of Advising here in the College of Engineering at Virginia Tech. And thanks for joining us for this final virtual academic advising and course registration session, specifically focused around study abroad. So that will be the kind of focus of our conversation today. I have my colleagues here from the engineering global education spaces and also who know all the ins and outs of study abroad within the College of Engineering. So we have Nicole Sanderlin and Mariah Henderson, and I'll let you all share a little bit more about your roles here and then we'll get started. And for the participants in the room, what you'll do is if we have any questions, we'll utilize the Q&A. But also, if you have any issues hearing us or anything, please feel free to include that in the Q&A and we'll make sure we address any concerns technically that you might have. So Nicole, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Marlena. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to talk with you all today. My name is Nicole Sanderlin, and I'm the Director for Global Engagement in the College of Engineering. And I will let my colleague introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Mariah Henderson. I am the International Programs Administrator in the Department of Engineering Education. So I run a study abroad program that is specifically for first year engineering students. So happy to share it with you.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. Can you all see the presentation? Does that look okay? Okay. So we're going to be talking to you today about global engineering opportunities here in the College of Engineering at Virginia Tech. I'm really excited to get to talk with you all today because there are lots and lots of ways that you can get involved in global opportunities while you're here, from your freshman all the way through your senior year. So we're going to be talking to you a little bit about kind of the landscape overall about global opportunities here in the college. And then Mariah will be focusing on a couple of specific opportunities that are open to you early in your time as a freshman and sophomore here at Virginia Tech. So we want to make sure to highlight those as well, because those are kind of your earliest opportunities to be able to get involved with some of these. So I am based in the Office of Global Engineering Engagement and Research, which is out of the Dean's office. Our work really is to connect Virginia Tech engineering students to study, research, and do service opportunities all over the world. So a number of opportunities that we offer students are study abroad opportunities, international internships, international research experiences, service learning, and access to different scholarships as well that can help support some of these opportunities. During the last academic year, we had 565 engineering students that went abroad on all of these different types of opportunities. And so we are really excited to talk to you all about the various opportunities that are available. So we have a really brief video. This is around 3 minutes long. That is about study abroad. I'm going to press play and we can go from there. And hopefully this will work and the sound will work as well. So I'm going to give this a try. Can you hear it? No?
We cannot, but that's okay. I think I have a solution.
Okay.
So if you'll pause it for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just make sure. Okay. On your audio now at the bottom side, do you see anything that says share computer audio?
Let's see. Let me look. So I'm in the audio right now.
In the bottom right-hand corner, click share. And let's see, share background music. Okay. We got a person helping us out. So they say unshare and then
Unshare.
enable it and reshare. So unshare first. And then on your
Okay.
share settings at the bottom,
All right. Stop share.
yeah. And now where it goes share, do you have a new icon that says also share computer audio under the share button?
Let me go under advanced. I do not.
Let's see if I go share. Okay, so when I click share, it'll give me the icons and under at the top, it has options and it says share sound. Do you have that feature?
I don't have that feature.
Okay.
No, there are only a couple. Let's see. Share sound. Oh, wait. Share sound. I can see it, but it's not
Yeah,
clickable.
mine too. Mine's not shareable either. So maybe the
Yeah.
video's not gonna work, but could we share the link out for people to watch it at their
Absolutely.
own time?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure to share the link. I'm
And
sorry
I can
about
put that
that.
on the website too specifically. And
Mhm.
we can do that. That sounds great.
Okay, great. Sorry about that, everyone. All right, let me see if I can. All right. Let me move on to the next slide. All right. Okay, are we back to a screen you all can see?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So I will send a link for the video. I'm sorry that did not work. But the purpose of the video really is to highlight lots and lots of different experiences that are possible while you're here at Virginia Tech. And so I'll make sure to send the link. In addition, this next slide is about our global engineering ambassadors. So we have a really active group of current engineering students here at Virginia Tech who also serve as global engineering ambassadors that really help us promote different opportunities. So you will see us when you arrive on campus and at a number of different organizational events that are promoting different opportunities for engineering students. These students have all studied abroad or are in the process of getting ready to study abroad. So they're very excited about all of the different benefits that really come from having these types of experiences and are eager to talk to students about them. So I hope that you'll get a chance to talk to some of our ambassadors once you're here on campus. So the benefits of going abroad are really varied. And one of those really is developing some really valuable job skills. So skills like adaptability, global competence, intercultural skills, communication skills, leadership are all skills that our students talk about when they return from these types of experiences. We've also found that that employers really want college graduates to be interculturally competent. According to The Economist, 71% of employers who responded to a survey about intercultural competence talked about this as something that they really valued in new graduates. And so having an edge in the job market is something that we really think that these types of opportunities will help with. Additionally, academic experience. So many of these experiences are built into the academic program, and you can get credit towards your academic program by doing them. So that can be also really helpful. And then development of personal skills. So we always hear from our students about how these types of experiences have really helped them develop independence, self-confidence, really help them to grow and become more confident as an engineer. So this is a picture of our engineering students in Bolivia with one of our organization, Engineers in Action, which I'll talk a little bit about. And I love this quote, which is, one of the great things about travel is that you find out how many good, kind people there are. And I think that one of the things that I know our students always talk about is just the connections that they have made with people in other countries, across language barriers, that they have found to be really valuable. So thinking about going abroad, there are really 4 different program types that you can take advantage of while you're here at Virginia Tech that will help you to earn academic credit. So I'm going to give just a brief overview about these so you just have a little bit of context. So one of those is our faculty-led programs. So these are programs where a Virginia Tech faculty member is teaching the course that you would be enrolled in and also traveling with you. In these types of programs, you're paying Virginia Tech tuition, you're getting Virginia Tech credit, and the participants are other Virginia Tech students and a Virginia Tech faculty member. So we have around 72 different programs that are open across all colleges that students can take advantage of. So when it comes to engineering programs that kind of follow this model, here are a few of them. And Mariah will be talking to you a little bit more about the Rising Sophomore Abroad program. That is a signature program for Virginia Tech and the College of Engineering. So I hope that that's one that you might want to consider while you're here. We also have a number of programs that are open out to any College of Engineering major. There's a DFORMS in France program, Pathways to the Steger Center. We also have a couple of programs that are specific to particular majors. So in your sophomore year or beyond, then you could take advantage of some of these other programs in computer science, civil engineering, and electrical and computer engineering. So lots of different opportunities depending on what you're studying and what your major is. The other opportunity, the second one, are exchanges. And in an exchange, we have agreements with institutions overseas where you can pay in-state tuition. So this is a really nice option for those of you who may be Virginia residents. You pay Virginia Tech tuition and fees, but you're able to study abroad at another institution. And it's an exchange because in exchange, we have students that come this way as well and study at Virginia Tech. So there are a number of universities worldwide that students can participate in this type of experience, and then credit is transferred from the other institution back to Virginia Tech. So we have a whole process that happens on the front end to really help students look for courses that are going to transfer back. They're going to meet requirements here at Virginia Tech. So you know that before you go. But that can be another option, especially if you're thinking about going for anywhere from a semester long to a year-long program. We also have our third type here, our third-party programs. So there are all sorts of organizations and providers that also provide study abroad options. And so those can also be really exciting because they provide a lot of on-site support, excursions, prearranged housing, and that can be really effective, especially for out-of-state students who are paying out-of-state tuition. Again, those credits are transferred back to Virginia Tech. So those can also be a really nice option. And then the fourth are direct enroll programs. And this type of program is one in which you are enrolling in another institution abroad, usually for a semester, and you apply and pay to the host university for a spot to be able to take courses while you're there. And we've had a number of students who have done this as well in many different institutions around the world. So this is another option as well for really a full immersion experience if you are really interested in taking courses at another institution. Service learning is also very popular here at Virginia Tech, and we have a lot of really great options for students. Some of you may have heard about the organization called Engineers Without Borders, which is really nationally known, but we have a chapter here at Virginia Tech. And students have traveled to Uganda, Nicaragua, Kenya, among other locations where they are really working with practicing engineers. So all projects are overseen by a practicing engineer and then done in collaboration with communities overseas. So that can be just an amazing opportunity to really get some engineering experience and work with other Hokies on a project in a community overseas. Service Without Borders is another organization based here to Virginia Tech. It is unique to Virginia Tech. That particular organization was started by a group of engineering students who also wanted to have an organization that was open to students in other majors and other colleges as well. So it's an interdisciplinary group, and they have done service projects in Nepal, Tanzania, India, and they also do local projects here in the New River Valley as well. So also a very active organization that I hope you'll check out while you're here. And then the third is Engineers in Action. They have been doing work ongoing for the last couple of years in Bolivia. But very similarly to the other organizations that I mentioned here, there is a faculty mentor that works here at Virginia Tech with students, helps design projects, and then the students travel together to undertake those projects in Bolivia. And that travel for these programs takes place at all different times of the year. Sometimes it's over spring break, sometimes it's in the summer, sometimes it's over winter break. But the idea is really to do it during academic breaks so that it's not crossing over with times when you're in classes. But a couple of really fantastic options if you think you may be interested in service projects. Additionally, we do have a number of summer research opportunities that take place overseas. Virginia Tech and the College of Engineering has been very successful in getting grants from the National Science Foundation for a program that's called IRES, which stands for International Research Experiences for Students. So we have opportunities for you to participate in some of these programs. These are some of our current projects that we have in Brunei, South Korea, and Singapore, one in the UK, one in France. And you'll notice the topics, they're quite specific, with looking at bio-inspired engineering, electric power systems, cybersecurity. So these types of programs can be really good for juniors, seniors, even graduate students. And in many cases, these cohorts of students are a mix of juniors, seniors, and graduate students who are working together and doing research in the summer. These are also paid, which is also a fantastic opportunity as well, and takes place in the summer. So I also want to point out that there are lots of opportunities to find funding for these different types of experiences. Um, our office here in the College of Engineering and also the University Global Education Office has a number of resources for scholarships. There are also ways to take your financial aid with you if you are studying abroad, depending on the program. So that's something that we also like to talk to students about. Some of our programs are, especially those that are taking place for a semester or a year. And I mentioned the exchanges and direct enrolls programs, depending on whether you're in state or out of state. In many cases, some of these programs will actually cost less than paying Virginia Tech tuition. So that's something to also think about, that there are lots of different ways to kind of think about the financial side of these different programs. There is also here at Virginia Tech, our Global Education Office runs what is called a first-year passport project. So first-year students that are Pell Grant eligible can apply for the first-year passport project to get the cost of a new passport covered. So I really encourage you to keep an eye out for that. Every fall, the university has a study abroad fair out on the drill field where you can talk to all sorts of program leaders and providers. And I know that this program will also be talked about there as well. So I encourage you to look into that as well. And then we have, our students have been very successful across a lot of different national scholarships. So the Boren Award is a scholarship that funds opportunities for students to study overseas and also study a foreign language. So that is one that has been very popular. The Gilman Scholarship, the Fulbright Scholarship, all of those there are a number of resources on campus for students to help them think through the application process and apply for those. So keep that in mind as well. And then when it comes to the academics, our goal with these programs, number one, is that we want to provide and help you find resources and programs that will help you graduate on time, that where the credit will transfer easily, and where we have programs for every major. So that's always our goal here, and I know your academic advisors are also a great place to stop and talk to someone as well once you get here to Virginia Tech to kind of talk through the different opportunities that are available. When it comes to safety, Virginia Tech has extensive safety guidelines and university policies when it comes to study abroad and undertaking international experiences. I love this picture. Mom, I'm fine. Because I'm having worked with many students, I know some of our students forget to tell their parents that they have arrived safely, and they're fine. But we have extensive resources that include pre-departure preparation for all students, emergency contacts and resources, and health insurance that covers students while they're overseas. I won't get into the nitty-gritty details with that, but that's just to say that there's a great support system here for you at Virginia Tech in the form of all of the resources that we have here to really help students be prepared and supported while they go overseas. One question I often get from students is, do they need to know a foreign language to be able to undertake some of these opportunities? We have a number of opportunities that are in English-speaking countries that have English language instruction, even if you are in another country. And our faculty-led programs, where a faculty member, Virginia Tech faculty member is teaching and traveling with the program, is also a great opportunity where you really don't need to have the foreign language to be able to go overseas. It's always helpful And especially if you've studied a foreign language in high school, if there's a particular language you have a little bit of background in, that can be really helpful. But it is not required. And in all cases, no matter what opportunity you're looking at, any requirements for foreign language would be spelled out on the front end, so you know what you're getting into. But I always encourage students, even if you don't know a foreign language, there are still lots and lots of ways to go overseas and to take advantage of some of these opportunities. And wrapping up, we have opportunities really starting from the freshman year all the way through your senior year here at Virginia Tech. So Mariah will be talking with you about some opportunities that you can take advantage of in your first year. But even if that's not something that works for you, there are lots of opportunities in your sophomore, junior, and senior year as well. So as you move into your major, and as you get more experience here at Virginia Tech, there will be other opportunities also. So the Rising Sophomore Abroad program is a great opportunity. These service trips can be fantastic, no matter where that takes place in your time here at Virginia Tech. Many of our students who study abroad do so in their junior year, so that's a great time to do so once you've gotten a few courses in your major under your belt. And then we have a number of students who go even in their senior year, and that's especially true for the international research experiences that I mentioned, that once you've gotten a little more experience and taken some of the prerequisite classes, that can be a great time to look at some of these other opportunities as well for research. I love this quote, which is, "It's better to look back and say, I can't believe I did that, than to look back and say, I wish I did that." So I hope that this provides a little bit of context to kind of get you thinking about these opportunities. I'll turn this over to Mariah to speak a little bit more about some specific programs, and then we can answer questions at the end.
Thanks so much. All right. Well, first we are going to talk about the Rising Sophomore Abroad program. So this is a program that was designed for first year engineering students in their spring semester. That's why when you're a rising sophomore, especially as the semester ends and that's when travel happens. RSAP is an award-winning program and innovative in the way that it allows engineering students to go abroad and work that into all of the curriculum challenges that they might face. Go to the next one. All right, and we have traveled to many locations. I'll talk in just a minute about where we're going this year, but many locations in Europe. We've been to Africa, South Africa specifically. We've been to South America, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Asia. So we have lots of different options and we're looking for some good ones this year as well. All right, so a little bit of specifics about the program. The Rising Sophomore Abroad program has two main parts to it. The first part is during spring semester. So while you're here on campus in the spring semester, you are going to take a course called ENGE 1644. It's called Global STEM Practice. It's a 3-credit course. It fulfills your Pathways 3, Pathways 3 credits. And the course itself is going to really focus on engineering in an international context. So helping you to think through and build the skills to work internationally. Thinking about diverse teams, thinking about different perspectives, cultural mindsets, things like that. So it's not actually an engineering class. We don't teach there's no engineering taught specifically, but we're going to think about what it would mean to be an engineer in an international context and how that might change the way that you perceive things or the way that you approach problems or solve problems. So that is spring semester, a regular 3-credit class. You add that as a part of your regular spring semester. Then at the end of that semester, right after exams end, is when we travel. So we will travel for 2 weeks. Our locations that we're looking at for 2025 are Norway and Finland, Italy and Germany, Japan and Taiwan, and Australia and New Zealand. All right, so there is a cost for this program. One great thing about the program is there's no additional tuition because of the way tuition works. You pay just a standard fee during the spring semester, so there's no additional tuition for taking this course. But there is a cost for the travel, and that's going to be about $5,000 to $6,000. We're still working on the specifics for the 2025 program, and those details will be updated on our website in the next month or so. Now, what are you paying for with that amount of money? Because that's not a small amount of money. It's going to include your international airfare, all of your in-country transportation, so whether there's flights, trains, buses, all of those things, all of your breakfasts and some of your lunches and dinners. We usually include about 8 lunches and dinners. Corporate visits, where we visit companies that do engineering in those countries. University visits, visiting universities that do engineering and seeing what engineering education looks like. How does being trained as an engineer differ in other countries? Cultural visits so that we understand the context of the culture of those places. And then international health and security insurance, which is very important and protects us from anything that might go wrong in a health or safety type space. We do have some scholarships that are available, and I have those outlined on our website. They also will be updated in the next month or so with the specific deadlines for this coming year. But what I will say is that the deadlines are soon. So the first deadline is going to happen September 6th, and that's for the Global Education Office scholarships. And so if you are interested in RSAP, I cannot stress strongly enough that you should apply for that scholarship, even if you haven't finished your application for RSAP yet. You don't have to have been admitted to RSAP to apply for the Global Education Office scholarships, but you do have to get your name in the running, and that is going to happen before the scholarship for the application for RSAP is due. So you really want to make sure that you get that scholarship application in on time. There's a couple of other scholarship opportunities that'll be listed on our website as well, and they also have deadlines generally in the September and October timeframe. So look out for those, and then also follow us on Instagram because I'll give updates on those scholarship opportunities as they come up. All right, a few other details. Applications will open August 15th, unless something goes wrong, we have to delay by a day or two, but should open August 15th, and then they'll close on October 1st. Applications are reviewed on a rolling basis. So that means that as students are applying and getting accepted and getting assigned to different locations, as those locations fill up, there won't be any more spaces on them. And so if you are really interested in a specific location, I highly recommend that you get your application in on the early side of the application period. That way you have the best chance to get your desired location. As I mentioned, our website is not up to date for the 2025 cycle. That'll be happening in the next month or so. So keep an eye out on our website for those updates that'll have specific pricing, new kind of sample itineraries that shows you what we're looking at for this year, and yeah, all of the little details, scholarship opportunities and things like that. So you can get to our website using the QR code that's here on the screen, or just search Virginia Tech RSAP. It will be the first thing that pops up. But also follow us on Instagram at VTRSAP, because I'll be posting reminders and updates there as well as highlights of our students that traveled with us in the past and their experiences. So watch for those coming up soon. All right, and then our next opportunity, this is a more traditional study abroad program. It's called Pathways to the Steger Center. We just finished our first run of this program. It went really well during June of this summer, so they just got back a couple weeks ago. So this is a 4-week program that happens at the Steger Center in Riva San Vitale, Switzerland. The Steger Center is Virginia Tech's international campus in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. It's beautiful, nestled in like the Swiss Alps. cannot recommend it more. So for this program, you take 2 of the 4 courses that are offered during those 4 weeks. So we have a course called Create, which is a engineering course, but that is open to anybody, not just engineering students. It's a European food practices course. This is a really neat one that students loved this year, looking at not just like eating food, but how is food prepared? How does eating and food look different in Europe versus maybe what you're used to? A new course this year is Language, Culture, and Learning, which will be a Pathways 3. And then we also have Italian because it is the Italian speaking part of Switzerland. And so everyone in the area speaks Italian. So you choose 2 of the 4 courses and take those during those 4 weeks. The program also includes a trip to Bologna. So that's just under a week of the 4 weeks takes place in Bologna, where you get to visit different companies and have different experiences that are related to the courses that you're taking. Now for this program, there is tuition. The way that summer tuition is assessed at Virginia Tech is by the credit hour. And so that amount changes based on whether you are in state or out of state. And then there is a program fee for this one as well. That is some of the travel costs. And this year it was $5,600. Again, we don't have the exact prices nailed down for 2025 yet, but that will be upcoming on our website in the next couple of months. So this program fee, you'll notice it's a pretty similar number to RSAP, but what these programs do is really, really different. So this one is going to include all of your in-country transportation, all of your accommodations at the Steger Center and while you're in Bologna, 3 meals a day on weekdays while you're at the Steger Center, and then 1 meal a day on the weekends. The reason they only do 1 meal on the weekends is because most students go and travel on the weekends, and so they don't actually eat any of the meals. So that way you're not paying for meals that you're not eating. The almost a week-long trip to Bologna, which also has some academic visits, some free time, chance to explore Bologna, and then that same health and security insurance. There are a lot of scholarships for this one as well. They're going to be on that website. The deadlines for these are a bit further out because it's a summer program instead of a spring program. So not as much of a rush on this one if this is a program that seems like it would be a good fit for you. Like I said, these programs, in terms of their program fee, are pretty similar, but what you're getting is very different. So one is a course during the year, during the spring semester with travel at the end. It might be good if you're looking for something that fits into your curriculum. If you've got plans for the summer, it doesn't take a large portion of your summer. You could still have a job, still have an internship, versus Pathways to the Steger Center is going to be a longer time. The benefits of that are you get more immersion in the location. You're taking your courses abroad, so that's a different experience. And you are getting a lot of your meals cooked for you in a really great cafeteria. They have like a personal chef that cooks for the groups that are there, and it's so good. So as you're thinking about these 2 experiences, I really recommend that you spend some time thinking about what you want to get out of a study abroad program. What's important to you? Is it the amount of time that you're there? Is it a specific location? Is it some other aspect of study abroad? What are you hoping to get out of it personally? And then which program, and maybe it's not one of these 2, it might be one of the other programs that Nicole talked about, but finding a program that matches what you're interested in and what your goals are for study abroad. That way you're getting the experience that you're looking for. All right, and then for this one, applications are going to open on October 1st and then close on December 15th. Again, our website is not updated for 2025 yet, but that is forthcoming. You can get to it through the QR code or search Pathways to the Steger Center, and it'll pop right up. For either of these programs, if you have questions, please email me at rsap@vt.edu. If we don't get a chance to answer them here, or if you come up with a question, after the session, feel free to reach out via email. I'm happy to answer questions that way. All right. And it concludes our presentation. So we're happy to take questions. And then Nicole, do you want to talk about these resources that are on?
Yeah, thanks, Mariah. So So in addition to the websites that Mariah had for the specific engineering programs, these websites go to our global engineering website. You can search and look by department. So if there's a particular major that you're thinking about, you can look there. I mentioned the Global Engineering Ambassadors. The ambassadors have a bi-weekly student newsletter that they send out to any engineering student who would like more information about study abroad and scholarships. So please feel free to scan the QR code there. You can sign up for the newsletter so that you'll be getting that once you're on campus. The first one will be coming out like the second week of the semester. So once people get a little bit more settled in to the year, and then we can answer any questions as well at engabroad@bt.edu, or you can visit us on Instagram.
I'll just mention that I subscribe to the bi-weekly student newsletter, and it's great. It has like so many good reminders. There's always information about upcoming like information sessions or deadlines. So if you're interested in study abroad, I highly, highly recommend signing up for that one just because it's a great reminder and it's easy to do, easy to just come straight to your inbox.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for being here today and going through all those things. We do have a few questions in our Q&A. And so if you are hanging out with us, feel free to pop those in the question and answer session, and we'll either type in a response to you or we'll answer the question live. But the first question that we have is because my schedule, I want to study abroad in the junior year during the summer. One of the opportunities I saw on the database said that summer semester is virtual. How exactly does that work?
Okay, I can try for that one. So I'm not sure exactly which program you're looking at, but I know that one of the programs that I mentioned, the DForms in France program, is actually a summer program where the course, you're enrolled in the course and you do some things virtually before you leave for the travel. So that may be what it's referring to. And then there's travel for several weeks following that. But I'd have to look at the exact, if there's a specific program you're referring to, let me know in the chat, because then I may be able to give you a little bit more information. But that model is something that some of our programs will do. The course part and preparation might be virtual, but then the travel would take place following that.
Awesome. So the next question that we have in here is, are there any good opportunities for computer science students? And so I can let you address that live, but I can also pop in the link that takes you right to this computer science abroad section on your website. If you'd like, there is a great section on there for each of our programs where you're able to see the programs that are outlined for each discipline.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marlena. Yes, so we do, as I mentioned, if you go to the Global Engineering website and look for experiences abroad, you can search by department. But there are a number of opportunities for computer science students. The Software Engineering in a Global Context program is one that they're going into will be going into their third year this upcoming year, actually. And that one has been a really popular one for students, especially in their junior year, to be able to take a course on campus here in the spring. So very similar to the Rising Sophomore Abroad program, you're taking a class on campus here in the spring with travel over spring break as part of that. So that has been a popular program that has taken place both in Egypt and in Switzerland this past year. The computer science department is also in the midst of developing a longer semester-long program at the Steger Center. And so that's the center in Switzerland that Mariah mentioned, but that one is also being developed, and I think by the time you're in computer science, will be well underway. And we are also working with the computer science department to have some more direct enroll and exchange options for students as well. So there are a number of different opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you. And Mariah, it was really good to hear you talk a lot about the Steger Center. I've heard great things about it myself, but it sounds like it's more amazing than I even thought as well. But there is a question in the Q&A that says, for the Pathways to Steger opportunity, is that mainly for rising sophomores, or what typical kind of group of students are doing that program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for that program specifically, so it just ran for the first time in June, and we had students of all ages. So after we had as young as like after their first year, we also had seniors in that as well. So it was a good variety of students. I also would love to mention that for the Rising Sophomore Abroad program, despite the name and how it was originally kind of crafted, we do accept students past their first year. So you don't have to be a rising sophomore to be a part of that program. So if you are someone who maybe needs some time to figure out funding, or you've got a really tough spring semester in your first year and you just don't feel like it fits there, we would love to have you as a rising junior or even a rising senior. Just apply. That's totally fine. So love to have a mixed group of students there.
Awesome. And Nicole, it looks like John has popped in additional information about the original question. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I just saw that. Yeah. So so the Kansai Gaidai University summer is a virtual program only. So I'd have to look into that one a little more closely. It sounds like you may be looking at the Global Education Office website, which has hundreds of opportunities. So so there are many different ones that you can could have found. It could be that they may have a virtual program in the summer, but then in fall and spring, it would be something where you could travel. So I'm happy to look into that a little bit more. And then if you want to be in touch by email and want to send me an email, I'm at engabrod@vt.edu, and I can answer more questions about that.
I
Awesome.
will also chime in on that one just to say that Kansai Gaidai University doesn't have engineering. So we were actually able to visit there with the Rising Sophomore Abroad program this year. They do a lot of really cool stuff with Japanese culture and like learning like Japanese language and things like that. So if you're looking for like if you're maybe doing a minor in Japanese, or that's part of your studies, that could be a good fit. But if you're looking for engineering courses, which is important, you got to really, especially for an exchange program, the one thing that I would say to any of you is, if you want to do an exchange, please start planning early, because it does take a lot of kind of finagling. So for this experience particularly, you really wouldn't have the opportunity to take engineering courses if you tried to go there. And so you'd have to think about what courses can you take that are going to be beneficial to your degree in that place. And it may not, that's part of figuring out what's the best fit for you and what's really important for you as you're figuring out a study abroad program. It is our students had an amazing time. They learned a lot about Japanese culture there, but they unfortunately weren't able to see engineering kind of in practice there.
Awesome. Well, for those of you still hanging out with us, if you have any last minute questions, feel free to pop those in. We'll try to make sure that we get them all addressed. And again, Nicole and Mariah, thank you so much for hosting this session as part of our orientation experience. I really appreciate it. What I will do is I'll close out our live stream and then allow people to continue to ask questions if they like. And we'll hang tight right at 4 o'clock if that's okay with you all.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me see if I can. And I think actually, Nicole, I may have given you that privilege, so we'll just hang tight until 4. It's okay.
What do you need me to do?
There's a little button that says stop at the top under YouTube. You just hit stop live stream.
Okay. Let's see. Marlena, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that.
No worries.
Let me look under participants. Maybe I can make you.
It's up at the top where, do you see up at the very top where it says YouTube in the top kind of right? You don't have that? Oh, I have it, but it doesn't, I don't have a I don't have a stop.
That's okay. I gave away my privileges trying to help you figure out the video, but that's all right. We'll just
I
hang
just made
tight.
you the host again, Marlena, so I
Okay.
think maybe you can do
Awesome.
it.
Thank you.
Sure.